in the relationship. So obviously there's something that happened over here. Somebody moved. Oh, I'm out of here. Now, if I react to her, she's justified to be afraid. Now, when I get her over here, I reward her here. Where and when you release a horse to find their future, I want her to find her reward in facing fears. What I used to get here, I used faith, I used structure, I used hope, I gave her a release, and I used love. I'm proud of you when you choose to do the difficult thing and go against your emotions and choose to hear and serve and rest. Why? There's nothing more powerful in the world, friends. All conflict between a horse and a rider, between a husband and a wife, parent, child, and business is over one word. All of it's over one word. And that word is peace. And this filly wants peace. She thinks it's because if she gets peace by staying away from people, by cursing people, by reacting to people, and the truth of it is the only way she gets peace is by listening to truth and beginning to move forward. Now you can see her demeanor. See the loose rein? Why? Because something I can't give her is ruling in her heart. Peace. That's what God wants for all of our lives, to rule in our hearts. Let the peace of God rule in your hearts. I can't make that happen. You can't buy it. You can't make your... It's confidence. Now, how did I give her confidence? Because I taught her what to do in crisis, and I increased her confidence, and when I increased her confidence, I minimized the risk. So important for us to understand in any relationship. Thank you, whoever that was. That's good. I like that. Very good. I don't care. That's what we're here for. Why? Because any stimulus overpowers anything. So here's a kid that has a little bit of God's truth in his life, a little bit of love, but he gets around the wrong friends, man. They're out of here. They go back to drugs. They go back, whatever. They don't have much foundation. So it doesn't matter how athletic she is, does it? It doesn't matter how pretty she is. It doesn't matter how well she's bred if she doesn't have truth that abides. Now watch. I'm trying to get her over here by my right leg. She's like, I'm out of here. I don't do this stuff. It's not on my pace scale. I just move her gently over where she gets rewarded by hearing the pressure. There she chose. She chose to believe, to obey, and to rest. Now, I can't make that happen. I can only, you see, it's not my job to train a horse. It's only my job to set standards by which the horse can make healthier decisions. Now, we walked and trotted this horse. We're going to add to this. Now, watch this carefully, because this could be the difference between night and day for you. If you guys are paying for rodeo tickets, right here it comes. Now, watch. When I move back here, never do this. Okay, move back, shake your weight, move little by little, move, never take your hand off, rub on the side, move down to the side. Always gradual, line upon line, precept upon precept. We think that the goal of Christianity is to change people's lives. No, it isn't. It's to get water in their life, to keep washing away all the difficulties and the unrefined issues, and to keep washing. There's a problem, though. You can't sell it, because it's not a program that changes people. It's not a miracle. It's the faithfulness of God and His Word. It's the day-by-day stuff that changes your life and washes away the heartaches and takes away the bitterness and empowers you to do things you never could do. Which day changed this filly's life? None of them, just little by little. Now we've got this. We've got walk and trot. We've got some consent. We're going to move back. Okay, watch carefully. Yield. Can we get our yield? Yield. Pivot. Good. Now notice I had to go, I don't worry about the face, but I had to set something. I worry about the shoulder, and then I move back where I can begin to influence the heart and get the heart, the hip, to make more significant decisions. I can't do that when I first get on them. You have no right, no authority, including in your own family, over somebody else's heart at all. And each day, you have to keep earning the right to go from there to here, where you can help them make a more powerful, moral, healthier choice. So you see, I'm earning my right from behavior to attitude to heart. When people respect your attitude, even if it's bad, they respect your difficulty, even if they don't understand or agree with it. Suddenly, like anybody, you start opening your heart and letting them hear your pain, hear your difficulty. Now that we've got that, now with this filly, I couldn't move my hand out like this because this tassel right here would set her off. We were in the next county. So I just began to take her like this and rub her like this and take this tassel like that until she could handle that tassel up on there, just like that. Today's trials are tomorrow's traditions. Whatever we frighten her with today is the muscle we build so that she's not worried about that. Now, why is that important? Because once I get this little hind end moving around like this, and I start to get the hind end moving over here like that, good. I don't worry if she's not pretty. Here's where the fun begins. Huh? Whoa, whoa, left front leg, right front leg, left front leg, go ahead, left front leg. See, she lifts those feet. She doesn't back at the mouth. She backs off her feet. Because you see, I taught her when she heard something, she was to move her feet, not her mouth. Our culture teaches you to move your mouth, not your feet. And the louder your mouth is today, the more you get heard. That's evil. That is so evil. The Bible, Jesus said that it's a righteous day when your yes is yes and your no. Anything more than that is evil. And we got people promise all kinds of things but never could deliver. So we're just going to move to our little filly now. I'm going to trot her. Now watch this. This is where the fun begins. And now we're going to pick up the rein. Soften her, soften her, soften her, and then open this door. Open that door and drive her there. Oh boy, this ought to be rich. Drive her there. Watch. There, she found it. Ah, it's a game, isn't it? Chase the reward. Did you ever notice that whenever you find God, the next thing he does, he hides himself? Hide and seek. Every human being on the earth lives on a game of hide and seek. And so we take the same filly like this and we play hide and seek. We taught her how to find us here and get soft on her feet. Even if she's a little reactionary, not a problem. That's okay. Right there's the right answer. Right there's the right answer. And here's the next answer. I bump her on the outside. Well, that's pretty hyper for an emotional horse. Yep. You're right. It's time to start. There we go. Start harnessing that emotion. There's always risk, friends. There's two things. I was dealing with a company this week, and the owner of the company is a very creative person. He wants everybody underneath him to be creative. I said, listen, you have to balance creativity with stability. Half your people need to be stable workers while the other people are creative. Lift, pull, soften, and hear me. How do I know she hears me? Feet are soft. Feet are soft, face is soft. Catch? There you go. Oh. Too bad you have to wait 2 weeks to see the next. Because I'll tell you what, she'll be a blur. And she'll be happy to be a blur. And she learns how. But she has an emotional composure that could, if you punish it, we don't worry about it. We don't control emotion, we direct it. Pick up, pick up, pick up, so she's soft, pick up, so she's soft, and then we give her a chance to chase that, yes. Good, and then we'll bring her out here and we'll canter her, because we're not worried about them bucking us off. Right, are we, Cammy? No, we're not worried about that, are we? Pick her up, run her out here. Always behind the horse. Always supporting the horse. Not controlling the horse. Putting the horse in front of us. Whoa. 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 There you go. Good girl. Now, taking them out canter is always a risk. Taking them outside is a risk. So you always have to up the change factor and provide stability in it. Always rewarding her. I couldn't even touch the rump. She'd just dump me off if she could. But you see, she's learning that to get a reward for owning myself. Now listen, friends. Whoever directs their mind, their will, and emotion defines what they do with their body. That's why God says, I want your body to be my temple. But unless you fill it with the right stuff, unless she listens to me, I don't have a chance. I'm going to pick up on the right lead now. Come on, sweetheart. Correct lead. Sit back. Correct. Push. Always pushing, not controlling, just influencing. Let's go for a race. Come on. There you go. Get behind the horse, drive him in front of you, send him where you're going to go. Bring him out here. We're going to change the leads here. There we go. Flying change, a good flying change. Give him the freedom to move. Whoa. 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 Good girl. Excitement, relaxation. Challenge, tradition. Our lives are made up of rhythms, pulses, and these horses depend on that. So she submits to me because I give her what she needs. Both, come on in, we'll take the saddles off, put hobbles on these two if we can. Oh, good girl. Oh. So that she will stand quietly, dismount, and we always teach them to dismount, to mount when we dismount. And saddle, same way. Line upon line. Influence over control. Hearing. Hears with the bit. Hears with her feet. Hears with her spirit. Excitement. Relaxation. Mutual submission. I can trust her because she trusts me even though she doesn't necessarily understand or like everything that she's experiencing. Oh, good girl. There you go. Thank you, Catherine. I got that. Now, I'd be lucky if I get rid of these horses because they just keep following you around. Really? After as hard as you are? Not a bit. You see, every child wants to be believed in. Every child wants to be protected. And this horse is finding the rhythm in these two elements. So, sit on me. There you go. Good girl. So now we're going to hobble her because we're reminding her there's a reward in absolutes. Oh, stay. Stay. Oh, there you go. And the more she benefits from the word no, the more she rests in its protection. Remember, the word no protects. She's such a wide-chested mare, I had to get smaller, bigger hobbles. Come here. No, stay. Stay. Why do we hobble a horse? To punish them? No. To teach them to, on a trail or whatever, benefit from limitations. They're not worried. They can still move. Believe me, they can move. The reason I took her saddle is because she wants to lay down after a workout like that. So we're going to take this off. Good girl. And leave her here. We're going to go get us 2 ponies. Stay. Stay. Now, the next 2 horses are different. Different personalities. And I'm not going to warm them up. We got them cold turkey. They're saddled, but they weren't ridden today. And the reason I'm taking them the way they are, I want you to see them as they are. She laying down yet? Okay. We're going to leave them there for a while, and then we may take them out again if they're too much of a distraction. Now, I don't need to know, what I didn't know about those horses that I had to know before I rode them, I knew by these horses from a different way. This little horse, when he came in, he was full of himself, and a little stud horse, he was wanting to take the world on. So I was quite concerned about whether he was aggressive. As I rode him, as I worked with him, just because a horse has good breeding, just because a horse is good looking, which this horse is, doesn't mean he's going to be a world beater. I'm going to tell you what, This horse is going to make a lot of people famous. I don't say that about many horses. This horse is going to make a lot of people famous. Some of them rich. Probably not the owner, but somebody else. When you get on a stud horse cold, 3 weeks of riding, and you can go to work, he's a good pony. Now, he's playful, but he's not dangerous. There's not a mean bone in him, but he's playful. That doesn't mean you can't get killed being playful. So the same thing we do with this horse. We start to line him up, and let's just let him move. It's just taking a young horse out of a stall. I don't recommend it, getting on him. So I start to work on the inside leg. Left leg. Why? Because I want, wherever you put pressure, friends, this is an important thing. Whatever you reward gets repeated. Whatever you put pressure gets reacted to. So I don't put pressure on a horse's mouth. They don't need any help, nor do we becoming mouthy, do we? You can change people's vocabulary. You can put duct tape on their mouth. But it doesn't last. So I put pressure on the shoulder, the attitude, so that the colt can learn to soften the attitude. Because I can't put pressure on the hip. I can't reach as hard. I have to earn my way back there. So I'll just start back here and I just earn this. I just take this left side, just take this left leg. You're going to watch it massage. No spur. Now he's ready for a spur. When we start, she's got a bump spur on her leg. And we take a colt, like first of all, they don't, if they're like that little mare, too much information, too heavy of authority. She couldn't process it all. She could barely process my hand and my rein. You could see all that. It's not because she's bad. It's because she's very attentive and very sensitive. So you have to start putting some of that down where she can learn to manage her own emotions. That's why we let them get out of hand and let her bring them back under obedience, where she manages her own emotions. Because you can't manage it for her. So, but a horse like this, he's a willful horse. Now that means I don't worry about his emotions. His emotions are pretty stable. His mind is good. But he's a stud horse. He's going to fight you if he can. Now, if he fights you too much, he's going to lose all that talent and ability. He's never going to mount to a hill of beans. Did you ever notice that stubbornness? A person will never be great without a lot of determination. But stubbornness is actually devil worship. And you got to turn all that will into determination. So watch this colt. I'm pushing this colt into the corner. Your reins only do 2 things, friends. These are rules. Reins only do 2 things. They give direction, and this one keeps a soft shoulder and a soft mouth. That's all we use it for. A soft that. So I keep this one upright, close. And this one actually influences the hip. We don't worry about stopping horses. We don't worry about really controlling them or trying to slow them down. If a horse speeds up, we make them work harder going sideways. So they decide to slow down. Then it's there. So I just noticed that the more this horse hears me on my left side, on Dad's voice, when he's in public, right here. See, he's influencing the left leg. He hears me more than he hears you. Already I'm way ahead of where I was with the mare. Now, we're not going to stay there, because then I'll work the other side. Now watch. Soon, I'll start steering the horse, not from rules, not from you can't do this, just from influence. What is abuse? Abuse is a misuse of authority. The Apostle Paul said this authority, and the Apostle Paul had quite a bit of God-given authority given to him. He said this authority was not for tearing down, not for punishing. Do you notice I didn't punish a horse here yet? Why? And they don't need punished. They need confidence, but they all need discipline. So what's the difference? Discipline is using whatever it takes to cause the horse to succeed, to gain hope, and have a future. Punishment always focuses on the past, always focuses on failure, and always keeps you married to the history. Punishment never empowers. It only... Now, there's a place for punishment when somebody's done really a lot of evil. So now that when I want this horse to trot, I lift him in the center. I don't ask him to go forward. I just lift him. And we work this way until we start to stop. And see, See, it's good for him to have these other horses to work around. It's good for them. Whoa. And he hears my voice. He's so attentive to my voice, I can hardly say it. In fact, I have to spell it to you. It's, you know how it goes as parents. You start spelling stuff, and then the kids start spelling bigger words than you do. Before you know it, that they're going around you saying words, spelling words that you don't even know what they mean. No, not your kids, huh? So, here we go. So, we're going to just work. We'll remind him of a little bit of that shoulder softness a little bit. Now, watch this colt when I do what I did to the filly. He's going to start out a little rough, which I don't mind. That's why we're in the training business. If I get after him, notice that I thump on this guy. I wouldn't thump on her the same way because I'd be in the county. Lift, watch him pull. See the will? He argues with me a little more. I don't mind it a bit. It's just a boy. Well, I can do that. Where she faints. Okay, one's will, one's emotion. Same need to learn how to serve cheerfully. So we just work with him, but we never reward him. Watch until he rewards himself. That's key. Watch this. Lift. Whoa. See him argue with me? That's okay. See him fight with me? That's okay. As long as I'm safe. Until he, what? Watch. See, he's arguing with me? I left him cold for you. That's going to be his worst today. Watch. Till he gets this. There. You see, when we get into conflict, we say, well, I'm sorry. I'll bet you are. You aren't a bit sorry. And your people won't let you off the hook. You know why? Because there's no change in your spirit. You said the words. You moved your feet. But there's no change in your spirit. It's my job to teach this horse to honor me. And that means I need to know his need, and I need to have enough strength of character that my no means no. And when he gets a yes right, we jump all over the court getting it. Why? Because this is a great horse. Now watch. Watch him change in front of you. The more he gets rewarded for softness, the more he soft he becomes. We need to tell young men how to be strong and tender, not just strong. So we get behind him and we push this colt on out here a little bit. And he gets heavy on that shoulder. We don't want that. So we're going to kill him. We're going to get right after him. Notice I can't do that with that horse. Good. We're not going to let him be heavy in the shoulder, because a heavy shoulder is a bad... No. Your presence today is making a little more difference. But watch this. Watch carefully. Whoa. He loves my word, even though he argues with me. Remember, not all kids that argue with your friends are rebellious. They're just trying on shoe size. Be careful of taking action, but be careful of being too weak. Well, how do you know the difference? You don't. Most of the time you'll fail at it like parents do. We get too angry or we're too passive. The art of empowering others is a delicate art. Ooh. Whoa, don't argue with me. Move your feet. See, I don't want him to move his mouth. He swears at me and argues with me and says, well, what do the other kids do? I don't care what he says. So he moves his feet. And then I say, oh, man, what a man. What a man. You know how to honor your mother and do the work, and even if you don't like it. Listen, friends, this isn't just in family. I deal with corporations. And when you ask a bunch of guys that are in performance or out on jobs doing service call to change their schedule, they gripe and bitch all over the place. You know what I tell the people? I said, you tell them ahead of time, next week we've got a lot of changes and you aren't going to like them. But as soon as you start seeing them move, you say, man, thank you for doing a tough job with a cheerful attitude. Even if it's only 10%, catch it, we're doing them right. Why? Because that colt isn't a good one. He's a great one. Every step. Now Now watch this. Watch carefully. The moment I change my seat, he's ready to come back to me. Woo! Tell you what, that's smoking good stuff. When you find a kid or a person who's instantly wanting to obey you, hoorah, celebrate it. That's a sign of greatness. It's level-headed. Different horse to ride. Not many people get to ride this kind of a horse. My goal was just not to ruin him while I got him. Now we're just going to take him to the right, pick up a right lead. He's not as good on his right. So we'll not do it. I don't want to set him up for failure. So meanwhile, I'll set him up this way. Set him up this way. I'll work laterally. Remember this. Whenever there's vertical resistance, rebellion, difference, defiance, authority, secretness, whenever there's vertical resistance, we always address it laterally. Soft shoulder. Move the hip over. Move the hip over. Forehand turn. There we go. So he starts to learn how to hear that leg. And I say, kudos, man. You hearing me, taking responsibility, and taking the initiative to be well-pleasing, couldn't be prouder of you. Now, this horse will do well with spurs, but I don't need him right now. I didn't want to put him on her and then change, so I just left him here. So we're going to work this right side more. Notice, when I want to do a circle, I steer the horse through influence. He likes the fillies. He better. I have to pull him a little because he's heavy on this side. Notice how he gravitates from you. Good. Pick up a right lead now. Whoop, 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 whoop. No. A right lead means he should start with this front leg here. Come on. No. No. So watch. What are we going to do with that? Punish him? Get out of the way. Pick up a left lead. Pick up what he wants to do. There, we got the right lead. Whoa! That's only because he wants to. Well, he learns how to. Whoa, good call. Now, horses, though they're athletic, they're not naturally talented to do what people want them to do in a show ring. They have to learn those skills. Not the abilities, the skills. Cutting cattle in a show ring is not like real ranch work. It's fake. Reining is not what you do on a real ranch because you would kill yourself. But the horse has to learn them. So now watch this. Lift, yield, softly. See the softness? Move. Now watch. Now. Good. Hey, get up. Hey. If you could take her hobbles off, go ahead and put them away. Now, we're going to teach her the football. By the way, if you're at a campfire and you think hobbling your horse means that they're going to be there the next morning, they may even still at the neighbors that just 30 miles away. They can move those hobbles on. So don't pretend that means that you're just going to stay there. Now watch carefully. Lift, soft, yield, 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 yield. In order to spin, this horse has to get that shoulder out of the way. So we move it out of the way. Lift and yield, and there he comes. Good. Good. We'll do it again. Every horse there's a fine line. Whoa. For all these horses. The little bay filly she's riding has a window of 20 minutes of energy. And if you train within that 20 minutes of energy, you get a great response. You train 25 minutes, you've destroyed everything you've invested in. People are the same way. You ever notice that? Doesn't matter how much information you have, friends. The only thing that matters is how much they receive. The soil is important in people's lives as the seed. A wise person knows when they're not being heard anymore and when to shut up and walk away. That filly only has 20 minutes of work. And as long as you work her with 20 minutes, you don't take away her hope. This boy's just warming up in 20 minutes. He loves to do what he's doing. It's play to him. The mare, I work her until she wins, until she's absolutely settled and more capable than she was. Emotionally, I train her. This guy, I just work on him until he gets that. And as long as he's still having fun by the end of the day, we're good. When it turns to work, remember this, when I teach coaches the most powerful form of coaching happens at home when you're not around. It's learning to coach the other 23 hours. So the other 23 hours on this horse is right here. Pick this rein up. Soft feet. Move around. Yes. Okay? You know, because when he goes home tonight, he's going to think about me for 23 more hours. And all the fun that he had. And all the reward that he got. And all the skills that he gained, and all the places that we went, outside and among people, and how he heard me bragging on him to others. He's going to think about that. Or he's going to think about the fact that I jerked his mouth, I made it hard, I exhausted him, I spanked him. Oh. We don't stop there because we're not going to let him think on that. We're going to let him think on this. Oh, the more I chased it, the more I tried, the happier it got with me. Now that's why the Bible tells you and I not to go to bed angry. Why? Because it's like putting a colt back in his stall after you beat him up. And I'll tell you what, tomorrow you bring out a different horse and he's looking to quit on you. He's looking to hunt you down. And so is your partner. So are your family. We never, ever, ever put a stall horse to the rest defeated. But how many of us will go to bed defeated? He can't quit. See, he can't get ahead of me. He's so smart, he's trying to get ahead of me. You're not that smart. I passed 3rd grade. And I took 3 years of French 1, so I know I'm smart. Now, see what he's doing? We're putting pressure. Well, we're not trying to get this colt to move from pressure. We're trying to get him to find the hope, the promise of reward. So we'll pick him up here again, and his feet move because of the promise. There's always a release if he accepts responsibility and chases it. All right. Let's try one more time with him. No. He's going to have to work on this right leg a little bit. He's a little more favored to the other side, but he'll have it as soon as we get some other. There we go. Once we get to riding him, right? On the outside, drive the horse. Don't pull him. Drive the sucker where you want. Get behind him. Send him where you need to. Just stay behind him. Empower your people. Don't worry about controlling them. Because when you empower them, whoa. Come here, son. Come here, son. Come here. There you go. Hey. See the difference in him and that filly? Whoa. Not right or wrong, different. We're all different. Isn't that fun? And so you have to work with them differently. If I bumped her around like I bumped him around a little bit, she just gets more fractious. Now I got to challenge her a little bit. If I just abated him like I bait her and cope with her, he'd think he really was tough. And he's learning he's a man, but he's a better man when he respects who he serves. is a great horse. Because he's getting founded, he has the talent, he has the looks, but you see, he's learning how to turn all that raw energy of rebellion, into determination. Now, it takes time. It takes time in all of our lives, doesn't it? Because we're all got a lot of work there to do. But when we get it right, and we get all of that, you see, we can't harness him like we did Smarty. We got 90% of this horse yet to harness. So the next goals are constantly earning the right to deeper layers of dreams, deeper layers of ability, deeper layers of energy, till this horse starts to really find he's happiest when he's wholehearted. All right, we've ruined a perfectly good afternoon on a Saturday for you all. Any questions you have while we're here? Because yes, sir. Hold on, I can't hear you. I'm here. Let me get it close. You're going to stick around? Okay, good. We're happy to answer your questions. Anybody have questions while you're over here? While I'm over here? I can hear you better. On something that was shared, the horses. Some of you want to donate children probably already. Your neighbor's children. Now, when it comes to here, see, most people want to face that, and I don't. I want to persuade him to step over here and rest in me, not in the object. You'll never find peace in your circumstances. You only find peace in the Prince of Peace. And you've got to know that relationship must supersede the other, because this keeps changing and keeps robbing us of everything that's worthwhile in our life. And so that means I need to be firm and strong, but very kind and very purposeful when he finds it that was a wise and noble choice. Now this colt's just a baby. He's just 3 weeks since we started, so he's just a baby. Questions? Well, I'll take that. There are cookies, I reckon, aren't there? Thank you for coming today. Feel free to chat about anything or ask about other things you have. Lord bless you. It's been a great day to be with you. Better to leave you a little closer to an hour unless you want to go home and think, man, I couldn't wait to get out of there. Take care. Thank you.